Climate change is a natural phenomenon that occurs in which many people haven't paid attention. The natural dramatic change in the weather is affecting the lifestyles of many Americans across the nation. The intense summers and mild winters, accompanied by hurricanes in some cases and droughts in others, have led to poor crop production, illnesses and diseases, and even death in certain places. The rapid increase in climate change is largely human induced. Humans need to scale back on the amount of waste they yield so that there is still a place for future generations to call home. To remedy the situation, we must know what causes it and how it is affecting us. According to an article entitled, "What Causes Global Warming?" in National Geographic, one of the first things scientists learned when investigating the causes of global warming is that there are several greenhouse gases responsible for warming, and humans emit them in a variety of ways. Most come from the combustion of fossil fuels in cars, factories, and electricity production. The gas responsible for the most warming is carbon dioxide. Other contributors include methane released from landfills and agriculture, especially from digestive systems of grazing animals, such as cows, sheep, and deers. Ken Caldera, author of The Great Climate Change Experiment, states in his article that already climate temperatures have risen by nearly 1 degree Celsius, more than twice that in the Arctic. Average temperatures could eventually rise by 10 degrees Celsius, enough to melt the vast quantities of water stored as ice in the glaciers of Greenland and Antarctica. Enough water could be released to rise sea levels by 120 meters. If the lack of concern for the preservation of the earth by its inhabitants continues, things will only get worse. The main concern, if we don't contain the speed of the climate change, is the rise of the sea level. According to the National Geographic, sea levels are expected to rise between 7 and 8 inches by the end of the century, and continued melting at the poles could add between 4 and 8 inches. This will lead to flooding of most of the southeastern and western and northern parts of the country. That's just the beginning. Hurricanes will be stronger and more violent, and the amount of wildfires will grow, causing a loss of homes, businesses, and lives. So now we know what some of the causes are for global warming. How can we as individuals do our part to help save the planet? The answer is simpler than you think. You don't have to go miles away from home to protest or spend massive amounts of money. If you try to follow the few simple steps that I shall now give you, you will have started to help us all. The first step, choosing clean power, is another vital way to reduce the amount of gas you release. According to the Union of Concerned Scientists, more than half of the electricity in the United States comes from polluting coal-fired power plants. Power plants are the single largest source of heat-trapping gas. None of us can live without electricity, but in some cases, you can switch to electricity companies that provide 50 to 100% renewable energy, like windmills. Another way to revert the global warming is by planting plants. According to the U.S. Department of Energy, tree species that grow quickly and live long are ideal carbon sinks. By planting trees and plants, you aren't only adding aesthetics to your lawn, you are also helping to soak up the natural carbon dioxide and other gases emitted. Sadly, many people don't think that the issue of climate change is a pertinent one. Educating the world on the issue of global warming will open the eyes and promote change. The possibility of a future is very obtainable if people would see the declining state of the world. The resources are at our fingertips. We have the power to save the world with just a few simple lifestyle changes.